Hi folks, Danny here at Partay. So today we're going to have a little fun. We're going to take a field trip and talk about some science stuff, specifically how light works outside. So we're going to cover daylight demonstrations, but first you need to understand just how bright it can be outside and at what times. Um, Outside light is extremely dynamic as opposed to inside light. You can almost think of it outside as dynamic, inside is more static. But what we really want to do is just kind of take a look and see how light works outside. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to take a look here real quick. Now you can see just how bright it is out there. It's 3:52. I'm looking at the clock right now in the camera. So it's 3:52. Now here the sun's starting to go down generally around 6:15. Between 6:15 to 6:30 is when it gets dark. I'd have to look at the exact time, but I know that's roughly the time. So we're close up on 4 o'clock now, so we got about 2 hours of daylight left or so. But I just wanted to show you, even at this, now you would look out there and you would expect that that is going to be a very, very bright area, right? Very, very bright. And then you see all the shade area. So let's take a look at how much lux you have in this shade area. So I've just set it down here on my porch. Got to paint my porch, guys. Actually, I'm not painting it. I'm resurfacing it this spring. But just to give you an idea, now you say, okay, 266 lux of light. Hold on. Look in there and notice that we're in times 10 mode. So you've got over 2,600 lux in this shady area here. So let's take a look at some other things. We'll go out in the direct sun. Let's see what we get there. Let's just pick a spot here. All right. So now we're going to have to, you see, we're back to 1. We're going to have to hit it again. So that's times 100. You can see times 100. So we are setting at roughly 54,000 lux right now. A lot of lux. Summertime, bright day. The sun is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of about 100,000 lux or more. All right, so let's find somewhere fun. Let me get us out of zoom mode here. Forgot I had you guys zoomed up that far. But here's another thing I want to show you. Let's just do this right here. Now you can see the sun's up there right now this time of day. Now our sun this time of year rises about right over there. Kind of transients, not directly across the sky. Transients across the sky. Settles right about over there. Okay. It's where it drops below the horizon. That's the reason when I do some of the videos in the afternoon, that window's on this side over here in the front. So I'll wait till the sun gets over here so that you get that light coming through that area. It can get brutal in there, as you can imagine. But I want to show you something here that's kind of key. So you see I've got this away from the light. So all it's picking up is the reflection off the concrete. All right. So what kind of reflection is that? Hold on just a second. I'm trying to do this with one hand. So we're still in 100 mode. You see that? So 7,500 lux just off the concrete. That's just what's bouncing off the concrete right now. Okay, no sunlight directly hitting that. This is a funny one too. I find it's a place out here with some grass. Grass in the shade. These were the things, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, I found very interesting and were really helpful and helping me understand light. So same thing. I'm going to put that just down at the shaded grass. And look how much light's reflecting off of there. We're still in hundreds, so you're 1,000 lux off shaded grass. Is that not crazy? So now why is this important? It's important because all of this is going to change. I'm going to do this again at roughly about 5:30 to 6 o'clock. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to show you how all this changes, and we'll check the same places, so hold tight. And here's another we'll do real quick. Let's do this. Telephone pole is in the shade until it gets up there. So let's see how much light we're getting off of this telephone pole. I keep wanting to go down on my knee and I don't need to because it's wet out here. So you can see, keep this little guy in the back so don't mess with us. There we go. I'm just going to point that right at the light. Now you see that's a meter max out zone. Against this thing, it's a meter max out zone. So let me hit my range button. Okay, see if we can get it there. There we go. That's how many lux. See that? 1,400 lux is coming off the telephone pole around it. But I could put it right up next to it. I mean, literally, you see I got it on it. And there's still 180 something lux. So that's one. Now, if I do something white, you're going to see that's going to change, right? So we're still in shade. Let me do this thing here. See that? Now, if I do off the black, you see it drops. Why? Because black absorbs a lot of light. It's not going to reflect a lot back, even though that's a mirror, still by comparison. See that? Big difference. All right, guys, you guys can see that our shade has now moved further down in the yard because now it's 4:57. So essentially just a little over an hour's passed. I'll get you in and see. So now we are at 2,090 lux. You can see it. We're in time 10 mode, right? And I'm going to go do an example at our other stuff again. And you're going to see, so we're not too far off from our measurements at roughly about 4 o'clock. 3:52, I think, was the last one. But now we got the sun has moved right here. And we're going to take a look here and see what we're getting. Now we're getting about a little over 2,200 lux off the concrete. Okay. So we're going to start to see. Now the reason for that is because the sun's just slowly moving as it transits the sky. But we're going to get to the point to where the sun's right at the horizon. And when it goes down behind the barn, it's going to be bright like this. But you're going to see the lux drop substantially. So we'll be back for that. See you in a few. All right, here we go, guys. Now you notice everything's even now, right? Still have nice bit of light up in the sky. The light actually has not come on yet. Hasn't got dark enough for it to come on yet. We're looking at 66 lux. No times 10, no times 100, 66 lux. All right. Take it out here on concrete. Actually, let's just say I decided to do a display right here. So we are 138 lux. 5,000 lumens, 138 lux. All right. right, so we'll come out here on the concrete, same area that we did it, and let's see what we got coming off of the concrete at this point. It's about 30 something lugs, 35, 36. It's just because it, you know, my hand movements, moving it around, light kind of reflecting in from different angles due to, you've got little shards of mica and other things, little bits of quartz that are all in there. Okay. And if I was to put a screen up out here, let's say facing this way, kind of facing me, let me get out of the way, about 150 lux. Not bad. So yeah, you could watch a movie very nicely out here. Have your screen sideways, still plenty of light everywhere. But you see, the lux count is what matters. That's the whole story, is how much light and how direct it is when it comes to the screen. So that last little bit at twilight, I went immediately back after I finished that little clip, went back to the porch and then walked the same areas, but this time I'm showing you what it really looked like. Okay, what I'd done is I bumped my exposure up to 1.2. Now 1 is par, 1 is, say, you know, the middle, and I bumped it up just to 1.2, kind of like that right there, and was able to capture that essence of daylight when it's not. And so this will give you an idea as to why those screens seem to stand up so well, because in reality, those screens are sitting in a pretty comfortable dark environment compared to what you see in the video. And it's just things that you need to be aware of. I would also remind you, if you've ever been to a drive-in theaters start their pre-roll stuff at twilight, relatively the same time. So there's nothing kind of new, as Solomon said, nothing kind of new under the sun here. It's just the way that it's being presented to you. You're being told in some cases by some channels that your screen will activate at a certain time. There's no power button on a screen. It's not going to activate. Okay, the screen is just there. It's a static piece of material. So just things to think about. We're going to do inside next. Until then, you guys take care. Bye.